Beneath the sun-drenched skies of Florida, a quiet tension stirs. These are the cities where change is coming, swift, silent, and, honestly, inevitable. Here, where life has long flourished in a delicate balance with the natural world, a new chapter is beginning. The vibrant pulse of human activity, the hum of commerce, and the laughter on sun-kissed beaches all continue, yet underneath this familiar rhythm, the very ground seems to be shifting. The air itself, once filled only with the promise of endless summer, now carries a different kind of energy, a sense of anticipation for what is to come. This peninsula, a finger of land pointing into the warm embrace of the tropics, has always been a place of dynamism and transformation. Its coastlines have been shaped and reshaped by the patient, powerful forces of water and wind over millennia. But the changes now gathering on the horizon are of a different nature. They are not measured in geological time, but in the span of human lives. In these sprawling urban landscapes, the intricate dance between human ambition and the primal forces of the planet is entering a new, more urgent phase. We will journey through 10 of these remarkable cities, each a unique ecosystem of culture, commerce, and community. We will observe the subtle signs, the quiet warnings that whisper through the palm fronds and across the shimmering waters. From the bustling metropolises to the tranquil coastal towns, we will witness how these communities are standing on a precipice, poised between a celebrated past and an uncertain future. The story of their struggle, their resilience, and their adaptation is unfolding before our very eyes. Our journey begins in Miami, a city that glitters with an almost otherworldly luminescence. It is a metropolis defined by its proximity to the sea, a place where the vibrant hues of human culture blend seamlessly with the turquoise of the ocean. The air thrums with a fusion of languages and rhythms, a testament to its status as a global crossroads. Here, life is lived with an intensity, a passion that is reflected in the bold strokes of its Art Deco architecture and the pulsating beat of its nightlife. It is a city that appears to have mastered its environment, bending the tropical landscape to its will. Yet this dazzling facade is built upon a foundation of remarkable fragility. Miami, where the ocean's beauty masks a looming uncertainty. The very water that gives the city its identity and allure is also its most formidable challenge. On the calmest of days, when the sun reflects off the glass towers and the sea is a placid mirror, the underlying tension is almost imperceptible, but the residents, both human and animal, are finely attuned to the subtle shifts in their world, the slight changes in the tide's behavior, the unusual patterns of the seasonal rains. The city's infrastructure, a marvel of modern engineering, stretches across the low-lying coastal plain. Its roads, its buildings, its entire way of life are predicated on a stable relationship with the sea. This relationship, however, is becoming increasingly unpredictable. The line between land and water, once clearly defined, is now beginning to blur in ways that challenge the assumptions upon which this great city was built. The daily rhythm of high and low tide has become a more pronounced and significant event, a constant reminder of the ocean's power. Even the natural world here seems to be holding its breath. The ibis that stalk the manicured lawns and the manatees that drift through the canals are unwitting participants in this unfolding drama. Their ancient instincts, honed over countless generations, are being tested by changes that are happening at an unprecedented pace. They navigate a world where the familiar markers of their existence are slowly, inexorably being altered. The mangrove forests, the city's natural guardians, stand as a silent, watchful front line. In the quiet moments, between the clamor of traffic and the celebration of life, one can feel it, a deep, resonant hum of change. It is in the lapping of water against a seawall that seems just a little higher than before. It is in the concerned conversations of engineers and city planners, and in the unspoken anxieties of those who have built their lives here. Miami continues to dance, to create, to thrive, but it does so now on a stage that feels ever more precarious, at the very edge of a new and uncertain reality. We travel west, to the shores of a vast protected bay. This is Tampa, a city built on industry and ambition. Its skyline rises confidently, a symbol of its rapid expansion and economic vitality. The port, one of the busiest in the nation, is a constant hive of activity, a gateway through which the lifeblood of commerce flows. For generations, this city has looked to the future with an unshakable sense of optimism, its growth seemingly as boundless as the horizon over the Gulf of Mexico. It is a place of hard work, of progress, of dreams forged in the Florida sun. Tampa, a city of promise, now standing at a crossroads. Its prosperity is intrinsically linked to its location, nestled along the edge of the expansive Tampa Bay. This geography, which has been the source of its strength, is now revealing a hidden vulnerability. The city's relentless outward growth has pushed development into low-lying areas, places that were once the undisputed domain of marshland and coastal wetlands. Now, these reclaimed lands are home to thriving communities and bustling commercial centers, all resting just feet above the water's surface. The city's complex network of rivers, estuaries, and inlets, which have long served as arteries for transport and recreation, are now conduits for a creeping sense of unease. The Hillsborough River winds its way through the heart of downtown, its dark waters reflecting the gleaming towers of finance and culture. But with each passing season, the river's moods seem to become more extreme. The delicate equilibrium between fresh water flowing out and salt water pushing in is being disrupted, with consequences that ripple through the entire ecosystem. The signs are subtle, yet persistent. Neighborhoods that rarely saw flooding now find their streets inundated after a heavy summer downpour, the water receding more slowly than it once did. The majestic live oaks draped in Spanish moss find their roots in soil that is becoming increasingly saturated. The very infrastructure that supports Tampa's growth, the bridges, the roads, the power grids, is being subjected to stresses it was not originally designed to withstand. The city's planners are in a race against time, working to fortify and adapt. Here, the challenge is not always the dramatic spectacle of a storm surge, but the slow, incremental creep of a rising water table. It is a quiet siege, fought not on a single front, but across hundreds of miles of vulnerable coastline and inland waterways. The people of Tampa, known for their resilience and forward-looking spirit, are now being forced to reconsider their relationship with the water that surrounds them. The city's story of unchecked growth is giving way to a more complex narrative of adaptation and survival. We move inland, to the heart of the Florida Peninsula. Here, far from the coastlines, lies Orlando, a city that has conjured an empire from imagination. It is a global capital of fantasy, a place where fairy tale castles pierce the sky, and the mundane realities of the world seem to melt away at the gates of its famed theme parks. Millions are drawn here each year, seeking joy, wonder, and an escape from the everyday. The city's identity is built on the promise of dreams made real, a meticulously crafted illusion of perpetual happiness and perfection. But even here, in this carefully constructed world, Orlando, where dreams are made and realities are shifting, though it is sheltered from the direct threat of the ocean, it is not immune to the profound changes sweeping across the state. The city's magic is sustained by a vast and complex ecosystem, one that is far more delicate than it appears. Its sprawling resorts, pristine golf courses, and lushly landscaped boulevards are all dependent on a resource that is becoming increasingly precious. Fresh water. The illusion of abundance is beginning to show cracks. The landscape upon which Orlando is built is a porous one, a network of sand and limestone riddled with lakes, springs, and underground aquifers. This intricate plumbing has sustained the region for millennia, giving rise to its unique flora and fauna. But the demands of a relentlessly growing population and a thirsty tourism industry are placing an unprecedented strain on this hidden world. The water levels in the region's countless lakes fluctuate more dramatically now, and the legendary freshwater springs that once gushed with astonishing force are showing signs of diminishment. A shadow is falling upon this land of sunshine. The long, hot summers seem to be growing longer and hotter still, punctuated by rainfall that is often more intense and less predictable. This puts a different kind of stress on the Magic Kingdom. The carefully manicured landscapes require more and more intervention to maintain their storybook appearance. The vast wetlands and cypress swamps that surround the urban core, vital for filtering water and absorbing rainfall, are themselves under pressure from the city's inexorable expansion. The challenge for Orlando is a subtle one, a slow-burning fuse, rather than a sudden explosion. It is the creeping realization that the natural systems that support the fantasy are finite. The very foundation of the dream is being quietly eroded from below and baked from above. As the city continues to sell its vision of a perfect world to visitors, it must simultaneously confront a much harsher reality behind the scenes, a battle to preserve the very elements that make the magic possible in the first place. Our journey takes us to the northeast corner of the state, to a city of immense scale. This is Jacksonville, a metropolis defined by its sheer size. It's actually the largest city by land area in the contiguous United States. Its character, is really a blend of southern charm and industrial might. A place where sprawling suburban neighborhoods give way to dense forests and vast, untouched marshes. The mighty St. John's River, which is a rare northward-flowing river, bisects this urban giant, serving as its central artery and its historical heart. Jacksonville is vast and resilient, yet not untouched by change. Its immense footprint, once seen as a buffer against environmental pressures, is now proving to be a unique source of vulnerability. The city's low-lying topography, combined with its intricate network of rivers, creeks, and coastal inlets, creates a complex and challenging landscape. The lines between water and land are often fluid here, and that's just a fact of life that residents have long accepted. But, the nature of that fluidity is changing. It's becoming more pronounced and definitely less predictable. The St. John's River, the city's defining feature, is right at the center of this unfolding story. As it widens on its slow journey towards the Atlantic, it creates a massive estuarine system that is exquisitely sensitive to subtle shifts. The river acts as a funnel, and when powerful storms or unusually high tides push ocean water inland, the effects can be felt for miles, far from the coast. The river's slow current means that this saltwater intrusion can linger, altering the delicate chemical balance of the ecosystem and affecting everything from submerged grasses to the fish that depend on them. The city's sprawling nature means that its challenges are diffuse, spread out over a vast area. A flooded street in a coastal neighborhood like Mayport might seem a world away from a submerged riverwalk downtown or a saturated field in a rural western district, but they are all connected threads in the same tapestry of change. The city's sheer scale makes a unified response incredibly complex. Infrastructure built decades ago in once dry areas is now being regularly tested by water in places it was never expected to be. There is a quiet suspense hanging over this vast landscape. It can be seen in the stilt-like elevation of new coastal homes, a stark contrast to their older ground-level neighbors. It can be heard in the conversations of fishermen who speak of changes in the species they catch in the river. Jacksonville's resilience is being tested not by a single concentrated threat, but by 1,000 small cuts, a slow and silent spread of water across its enormous and varied terrain. The city's greatest asset, its size, has become its most intricate challenge. We return to the Atlantic coast, to a city known as the Venice of America. This is Fort Lauderdale, a place intricately woven with water. More than 165 miles of navigable inland waterways wind through its neighborhoods, a defining feature that has shaped its identity and fueled its economy. Luxury yachts, symbols of immense wealth, are moored behind magnificent homes, each with its own private dock. It is a city that has embraced the water, built its reputation on it, and sold a dream of life on the waterfront. This intimate relationship with the water has created a unique and glamorous lifestyle. But here, in Fort Lauderdale, the tides of fortune ebb and flow with a new and somber rhythm. The very canals that provide access and allure are now becoming pathways for concern. The daily rise and fall of the tide is no longer a gentle, predictable rhythm. On certain days, driven by celestial alignments and shifting oceanic currents, the water pushes further inland, bubbling up from storm drains and creeping over the edges of seawalls that were once more than adequate. The city's elegance is now juxtaposed with a stark and growing reality. The spectacle of a king tide offers a glimpse into a potential future, as saltwater calmly floods streets, parks, and the driveways of multi-million-dollar homes. It's a quiet, almost beautiful invasion, the turquoise water of the canals, reflecting the blue sky as it claims territory that was once firmly terrestrial. For residents, this is no longer a rare anomaly, but an increasingly frequent occurrence, a disruption to daily life that must be planned for and endured. The infrastructure that underpins this paradise is under constant assault. Salt water is relentlessly corrosive. It eats away at the foundations of buildings, the concrete of seawalls, and the metal of underground pipes. The city is engaged in a hugely expensive and complex battle to protect itself, raising seawalls, installing massive one-way valves on drainage systems, and attempting to hold back the slow, inexorable advance. It is a high-stakes engineering challenge, played out against a backdrop of shimmering water and swaying palms. A somber undertone now pervades this sun-drenched city. The value of these waterfront properties, the very bedrock of the city's wealth, is now tied to a complex calculus of risk and vulnerability. The dream of a yacht in the backyard is now tempered by the reality of a flooded garage. Fort Lauderdale is a living laboratory, a place where the collision between human aspiration and environmental change is on dramatic and undeniable display. The water that brought the city its fame is now testing its very foundations. On the western edge of Tampa Bay, bathed in a soft, artistic light, lies St. Petersburg. For years it was known as a sleepy haven for retirees, but it has undergone a remarkable renaissance. Today, it is a city buzzing with youthful energy, its downtown streets alive with vibrant murals, world-class museums, and a thriving cultural scene. The city, nicknamed the Sunshine City for its record-breaking number of sunny days, has cultivated an image of creativity, progress, and laid-back coastal living. This newfound vibrancy, however, is set against a backdrop of quiet apprehension. St. Petersburg, vibrant and creative, is facing an uncertain dawn. The city occupies a low-lying peninsula, bordered by Tampa Bay to the east, and the Gulf of Mexico to the west. It's beautifully and precariously surrounded by water, the very geography that makes its waterfront parks and idyllic neighborhoods so appealing also places it at the forefront of the region's environmental challenges. The city's rebirth has coincided with a growing awareness of its vulnerability. The signs of change are woven into the fabric of the city. The historic neighborhoods, with their charming craftsman bungalows, were built at a time when the relationship with the water was more stable. Now, after heavy rains or during particularly high tides, residents in these low-lying areas must contend with streets that turn into shallow canals. The city's aging drainage systems, designed for a different era, struggle to cope with the dual pressures of intense rainfall from above and encroaching seawater from below. The artistic spirit of St. Petersburg is now being channeled into addressing these challenges. Conversations about resilience and adaptation are as common in the city's coffee shops and art galleries as discussions about the latest museum exhibit. There's a palpable sense of a community grappling with its future. The city is investing in innovative solutions, restoring mangroves, and building new infrastructure designed to live with water rather than simply fight it. It is an attempt to harmonize its creative energy with the powerful forces of nature, yet a deep uncertainty remains. How can a city built so close to the water, a city whose identity is so tied to its waterfront, protect its cultural and economic gains in the face of such a fundamental shift? The morning sun still casts a golden glow over the iconic pier and the sailboats in the marina, but it illuminates a landscape that is subtly, yet profoundly, changing. St. Petersburg is painting a new future for itself, but the canvas it is working on is being reshaped by forces beyond its control. Further south along the Gulf Coast, we find Sarasota, a city renowned for its cultural sophistication and natural beauty. It's a place of refined elegance, home to a professional opera, ballet, and a celebrated art museum. But, honestly, its greatest masterpiece is its coastline. The powdery, white, quartz sand of Siesta Key Beach is world-famous, a ribbon of pristine shoreline that meets the gentle turquoise waters of the Gulf of Mexico. The city has long been a sanctuary, a place of calm and cultivated beauty. This tranquility, however, is deceptive. Beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, the tranquil shores of Sarasota are now whispering of what's to come. The barrier islands that give the city its famous beaches are dynamic, ever-shifting landforms. They are the first line of defense against the power of the Gulf, and, well, they are themselves vulnerable. The slow, steady process of erosion, a natural part of their life cycle, is being accelerated, threatening the very beaches that are the cornerstone of the city's identity and tourist economy. A sense of foreboding can be felt among those who know these waters best. The calm, shallow bays and seagrass meadows between the barrier islands and the mainland are a vital nursery for marine life. These delicate ecosystems are highly sensitive to changes in water temperature, salinity, and quality. The increased runoff from the mainland, carrying with it nutrients and pollutants from an expanding urban area, puts these vital habitats under stress. The health of the seagrass is a barometer for the health of the entire coastal system. Sarasota's development has followed a familiar pattern, with luxury condominiums and exclusive communities built right up to the water's edge, offering spectacular views and immediate access to the bays and the Gulf. This proximity to beauty is also a proximity to risk. The foundations of this elegant lifestyle rest on land that is only a few feet above the high tide line. The city is a composition of art and nature, but the frame is beginning to feel the strain. The whispers of change are carried on the sea breeze. They are in the increasingly frequent red tide algal blooms that can stain the beautiful water and harm marine life. They are in the studies of coastal geologists tracking the slow retreat of the shoreline. And they are in the quiet conversations of homeowners on the barrier islands who watch the Gulf with a mixture of love and trepidation. Sarasota's calm, for so long its defining characteristic, is now punctuated by a growing sense of unease. We travel now to a city that really stands as a testament to ambitious, large-scale planning. This is Cape Coral, a place conceived and built on a dream of waterfront living for everyone. In a monumental feat of engineering, developers dredged and carved out more than 400 miles of canals from the marshland, more than any other city in the world. The result is a sprawling community where tens of thousands of homes back onto these man-made waterways, each with the potential for a private dock and a boat. It's a city defined and utterly dependent on its intricate network of water. This unique design, honestly a marvel of mid-century ambition, has fueled decades of explosive growth. But now, in Cape Coral, a city built so much on water, the currents are shifting in unforeseen ways. The very canals that are the city's lifeblood are also its Achilles heel. This vast interconnected system is, in essence, an extension of the Gulf of Mexico, making the entire community extraordinarily sensitive to any change in sea level. What was designed as a recreational paradise is now, well, a complex hydraulic challenge. The city's relationship with water is multifaceted. It must manage the salt water that flows in from the Gulf, while also dealing with the immense volume of fresh water that arrives during the summer rainy season. The canals are the drainage system, and when heavy rains coincide with high tides, the system can be overwhelmed. The water, quite simply, has nowhere to go. This turns the dream of a waterfront backyard into a logistical nightmare, as docks are submerged and lawns become brackish ponds. There is a growing suspense here, a sense of living within a grand and perhaps flawed experiment. The city was designed with a certain set of environmental assumptions, and those assumptions are now being tested. The health of the canals is a constant concern. Algal blooms, fueled by nutrient runoff from lawns and septic systems, can choke the waterways, impacting water quality and the aesthetics that are so crucial to the city's appeal. The battle to keep these 400 miles of water clean and navigable is a monumental ongoing task. The residents of Cape Coral are living, really, on the front line of a changing environment. Their lives are governed by the rhythms of the tides and the patterns of the rain in a way that's immediate and undeniable. The future of this canal city depends on its ability to re-engineer and adapt its foundational design. The shifting currents are not just in the water, but in the very thinking about how to sustain this unique and vulnerable way of life. Our journey continues down to the southern reaches of the Gulf Coast, to a city synonymous with wealth, exclusivity, and perfectly manicured beauty. This is Naples, a place where opulent estates line pristine beaches and luxury cars glide down palm-fringed avenues. The city has cultivated an atmosphere of serene sophistication, a tranquil retreat for some of the world's wealthiest individuals. Its pier, stretching gracefully into the Gulf, is an iconic symbol of a calm and prosperous paradise. But this carefully polished veneer of perfection, well, it's located at a precarious intersection. Here in Naples, luxury meets the edge of change. The city's immense wealth has been invested in creating an idyllic environment, but that environment is built upon some of the lowest-lying and most vulnerable coastal land in the state. The very features that make it so desirable, the immediate beach access, those bayside views, are the sources of its greatest risk. The edge of paradise is also the edge of a powerful and unpredictable sea. A subtle warning is embedded in the landscape. The magnificent beachfront mansions with their sprawling lawns and private beach access stand as beautiful but fragile fortresses against the Gulf. With each passing powerful storm, the coastline is reshaped and the line of defense is tested. The cost of protecting these properties is immense, involving complex and expensive projects to replenish sand on the beaches and fortify coastal structures. It's a constant, high-stakes battle to maintain the perfection that the city's reputation is built upon. And the challenge isn't just on the Gulf front. The inland bays and waterways, lined with equally luxurious properties, face their own set of pressures. The health of the mangrove forests and the clarity of the water are essential to the ecosystem and the city's aesthetic appeal. But these systems are sensitive to the changes happening around them. The quiet elegance of a bayside sunset is now viewed with a new awareness of the fragility of the entire system. In Naples, the immense financial resources available create a unique dynamic. The city can afford to engineer solutions and build defenses on a scale that's unimaginable for many other communities. Yet, even here, there's a growing recognition that money alone may not be enough to hold back the fundamental forces of nature indefinitely. The city's air of tranquil invincibility is being subtly eroded, replaced by a more sober understanding of the long-term realities. The edge of change is a line that even immense wealth cannot easily move. Our final destination lies on the Atlantic coast, in a city long associated with the pinnacle of American high society. This is West Palm Beach, the mainland counterpart to the legendary island of Palm Beach. Its waterfront is lined with gleaming condominium towers and bustling marinas, looking across the intracoastal waterway to an enclave of unimaginable wealth. The city itself is a vibrant hub of culture and commerce, its palm-lined streets exuding an air of tropical sophistication. But this landscape of cultivated paradise is one where beauty and danger are becoming increasingly intertwined. In West Palm Beach, paradise and peril walk hand in hand. The city serves as a crucial gateway, and its fate is linked to the fortunes of the entire region. Its downtown and historic neighborhoods were built on low-lying land along the shores of the Lake Worth Lagoon, an estuary that separates it from the barrier island. This proximity to the water, once its greatest asset, is now the source of a growing sense of suspense. The city's infrastructure, much of it dating back to the boom times of the last century, is facing a formidable new adversary. Salt water from the lagoon is pushing into the porous limestone that lies beneath the city, a process known as saltwater intrusion. This unseen threat contaminates the freshwater aquifers that the city and its neighbors depend on for their drinking water. The very source of life is being threatened from below, a silent crisis that is unfolding out of sight. The peril is also visible on the surface. During the highest tides of the year, seawater pushes its way up through the storm drains, flooding streets that are miles from the ocean itself. The beautiful waterfront parks and promenades, designed for leisurely strolls, are sometimes submerged, their benches and walkways standing in inches of salt water. This regular inundation puts a relentless strain on public infrastructure and private property alike, a constant and costly reminder of the city's vulnerability. West Palm Beach finds itself in a precarious position. It must protect its own historic and economic core while also serving the needs of the wider region. The city is a study in contrasts, the glittering promise of a luxurious lifestyle set against the stark reality of a changing climate. The winds that rustle the fronds of the royal palm seem to carry a new message, a whisper of the immense challenges that lie ahead. Here, the line between a tropical paradise and a perilous future is becoming finer with each passing year. We have journeyed across a land of breathtaking beauty and profound contradiction. From the vibrant energy of Miami to the manicured elegance of Naples, each city tells a unique story of human ingenuity and aspiration. They are monuments to a dream, built on the promise of endless sun and a harmonious relationship with the natural world. For generations, that promise has been fulfilled, fueling incredible growth and creating communities that are envied the world over. But the foundations of that dream are now being tested in ways that were once unimaginable. The quiet tension we first observed is now a palpable force. It is present in the lapping of water against newly raised seawalls, in the hum of pumps working to keep streets dry, and in the urgent plans being drafted in city halls. This is not a story of a distant, abstract future. It is a present-day reality. The challenges are no longer confined to scientific models and academic papers. They are visible in the flooded intersections, the eroding beaches, and the stressed ecosystems that are the lifeblood of this unique peninsula. In these cities, the future is unwritten. The winds whisper of change, and only time will reveal what lies ahead. The resilience, ingenuity, and spirit of the people who call this place home will be the deciding factors in the next chapter of Florida's story. The struggle to adapt, to innovate, and to forge a new relationship with the water and the land has already begun. The world is watching, for the lessons learned here, on this sun-drenched precipice, will echo far beyond these shores.